Nutrition Part 1. We need food for energy, for growth, for repair and regeneration of tissue, particularly after exercise, and for health. Food is essential for health as it provides the 7 essential nutrients. The 7 essential nutrients consist of carbohydrates, fats, proteins, vitamins, minerals, fiber, and water. They are considered essential as the body cannot create these nutrients and therefore must rely on dietary sources. Carbohydrates. Consumed carbohydrates are converted to glucose. Glucose is then readily converted to adenosine triphosphate. When glucose is in excess, which occurs with maximal adenosine triphosphate stores, it will be converted to either glycogen, which will be stored in the liver and muscle tissue. Glycogen can be readily converted back to glucose to form adenosine triphosphate when adenosine triphosphate stores start to become low, or it will be converted to fat. Neurons and red blood cells rely almost entirely on glucose to support their function, and without adequate supply, cellular death can result. Carbohydrates exist in 2 main forms, complex and simple. Simple carbohydrates are forms of sugars. Simple carbohydrates have very few chemical bonds and are easily and rapidly broken down and used by the body for the production of energy. For this reason, sports people and fitness enthusiasts utilize simple carbohydrates as an immediate source of energy. For example, drinking sports drink immediately before or during exercise. Complex carbohydrates have a large number of chemical bonds, which are broken and used over a longer period of time. Fitness enthusiasts and sports people utilize complex carbohydrates to supply continuous energy in the form of glucose to the body. Examples of complex carbohydrates include whole grain foods such as multigrain bread, cereals, and pastas. The glycemic index. Glycemic index is a ranking of foods based on their immediate effect on blood glucose levels. It therefore describes how quickly glucose levels rise in the blood after a meal. The glycemic index of food gives the consumer a value for certain foods and their effect on blood glucose levels. One of the most user-friendly scales is a scale of 1 lowest to 100 highest. In simple terms, complex carbohydrates are often referred to as low glycemic index foods, as they provide a slow and sustained release of energy, whereas simple carbohydrates are often referred to as high glycemic index foods, because they provide a fast and immediate supply of energy. This table provides an indication of various carbohydrate types and their effect on glycemic index. Slow release carbohydrates, low glycemic index, below a score of 55. Medium release carbohydrates, intermediate glycemic index, a score of between 55 and 70. Quick release carbohydrates, high glycemic index, a score greater than 70. Insulin. Insulin is secreted from the pancreas in response to rises in blood glucose levels. Insulin is responsible for transporting blood glucose to the cells of the body for the production of energy. Insulin is an anabolic hormone, which means it builds complex structures from simple units. Therefore, insulin initiates processes to ensure that unused glucose will be converted to either glycogen or body fat. Fat. Stored body fat provides energy reserves, as well as insulation against temperature extremes. Fat in the diet delivers flavor, aroma, and tenderness, as well as slowing digestion, adding satiety and a sense of fullness to a meal. Fats can be either saturated by possessing numerous hydrogen bonds or unsaturated by possessing few hydrogen bonds. Saturated fats are present primarily in animal meat, dairy, and fried or fast foods. High intakes of saturated fats have been linked to cardiovascular disease. Unsaturated fats, on the other hand, may offer protection against cardiovascular disease by promoting transport of fats in the blood and clearing the coronary arteries. Sources of unsaturated fats include seeds, nuts, and vegetable and fish oils. Protein. Protein is used to repair tissue and to regenerate tissue. Active people do require a higher intake of protein, but no more than what is recommended for everyday healthy eating, which is approximately 0.8 to 1.2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight. It is further estimated that only 10% of your daily protein intake will be used as energy for movement. Amino acids. For a person to obtain the nutritional benefits of protein, they must contain 8 essential amino acids for adults and 9 essential amino acids for infants. Amino acids are the building blocks of protein and cannot be stored. Therefore, we are reliant on our daily protein consumption to consistently attain all essential amino acids. If all essential amino acids are not present, the remaining amino acids will be converted to carbohydrates or fat, and we risk protein deficiency. Animal products contain all 8 amino acids, but plant and grain sources do not. Vegetarian clients need to be counseled to ensure adequate protein intake from their restricted sources.